Ola Electric presents Green Bharat, an initiative by Network18.
India is at a pivotal moment in its electric vehicle journey. From pioneering EV technologies to sustainable mobility solutions and robust policies, we are now on the way to becoming a global leader in the EV revolution. To explore this journey and help chart the road ahead, policymakers, industry pioneers and sustainability advocates convened at the Ola Electric and Network18 Green Bharat initiative held in the national capital. The event commenced with the welcome address by Chandra R. Shrikant, Deputy Executive Editor, moneycontrol.com, followed by an opening address by Ram Kripa Ananthan, Head of Vehicle Design and Product Planning at Ola Electric.
I'm honored to be here at Green Bharat 2024. It's a testament to our collective commitment in accelerating India's vision of energy independence. We at Ola Electric share the same vision and are happy to play our part in making India a global EV hub. With an aim to create an opportunity for the industry to forge new partnerships, share ideas, and align our collective vision to drive India's sustainable mobility vision, this initiative marks a defining moment in India's journey forward. We have with us some of India's most distinguished leaders whose leadership and vision have played a pivotal role in shaping India's energy and transportation revolution. Their presence here today underscores the importance of the Green Bharat initiative, and we extend our heartfelt gratitude to them for being part of this momentous occasion. With the EV market aimed to grow and the user base set to expand considerably in the upcoming years, India is poised to enter an era in green mobility. This is not just limited to mobility solutions, but also charging infrastructure, energy storage, battery production, and design innovation. The rapid transition towards EVs is a transformative opportunity to propel India into the forefront of global EV revolution. Central to Ola's vision, we strongly believe that we can leverage our strong manufacturing capabilities and abundant resources to establish India as a global hub for electric battery production. The road to green may be not so easy, but we are up for that challenge. With that, on behalf of Team Ola and Network18, I extend my warm welcome to all our esteemed guests and speakers to participate in a meaningful dialogue and pave the road to green in driving India towards a sustainable and electric future. Thank you.
The opening address was followed by a fireside chat on defining the new India EV age with Nitin Gadkari, Union Minister of Road Transport and Highways.
Gadkariji, it's a real pleasure to have you here with us on Network 18 for the Green Bharat Summit. Sir, under your leadership, we have seen a huge expansion of our national highways in the last 10 years, about 60% in length, 2.6x in width. But Green Bharat and green mobility has been very central to your vision as well. So in EVs in particular, sir, there are some very ambitious targets that you have. By 2030, 40% of passenger vehicles to be, 30% of passenger vehicles to be EVs, commercial vehicles 70%, buses 40%, 2 and 3 wheelers 80%. But today we are at about 2 to 3%. So how do you get there from now over the next 6 years?
Frankly speaking, you don't think about the targets because it is beyond our imagination. The way in which the EV industry's number is increased, it is really amazing. The most important thing is the cost. Now in our country, we have the import of the fossil fuel costing 22 lakh crores. And now as compared with petrol and diesel, now suppose you are using 120 rupees of petrol in the car or a scooter, then for electricity it need only 10 to 12 rupees. For CNG, it will need 50 rupees. So it is import substitute, cost effective, pollution free and indigenous. Now the problem is the cost of the e-vehicle was the problem. Because when we start this project, particularly when we start talking about e-vehicle, the cost of the lithium-ion battery was $150 per kilowatt per hour. Now in India, it is up to $100 per kilowatt per hour. And now one of the cell manufacturers, he was telling me that it comes to 80 rupees, $80 per kilowatt per hour. It means that it will be the same like petrol and diesel. And if you have a petrol car, you are spending 30,000 rupees per month. For electric, you have to spending only 3,000 to 4,000. So naturally, there is a very, very reasonably good saving, no pollution, import substitute, cost effective, pollution free, and our models are good. Yeah, I don't want to take the name of the company, but our models are equivalent to Tesla. Even some of the models, I feel that they prove to be more than Tesla. And rates are very cheaper. So sky is the limit. Huge potential is there. और ईवी वालों के पास जितनी ताकत और कैपेसिटी इन्होंने कितना भी बढ़ाया तो भी डिमांड पूरी नहीं हो सकती, समुद्र है पूरा.
जी, आपने टेस्ला की बात करी. Are we in conversation with Tesla for investments in India?
Sir, I'm not talking about them. Only I'm telling you. Now, you just understand the word scenario. When I taken charge as a minister, the size of automobile industry was 7 lakh crore. Now, presently, the size of the industry is 22 lakh crore. And we have just surpassed Japan. And our number is now third. So the first number is USA. The size of the industry is 78 lakh crore. Second is China. It is 47 lakh crore. And India, it is 22 lakh crore. And I am confident, and my previous track record is so perfect, that whatever I am going to tell to the people, 100% that is going to happen. In 5 years, we will be number one in the world, and e-vehicle will be the main reason for increasing the size of industry. And there is domestic market and export market. Now all two-wheeler, Bajaj, TVS, Honda, Hero, they have 50% of their production is export. And now in EV, the domestic demand will be increased. At the same time, export demand will be increased because of the quality of the product, because of the design of the product, and because of the cost of the product. Sky is the limit, and I am confident that this industry is going to 100% fulfill the dream of our Prime Minister to make India Atmanirbhar Bharat.
In terms of the next 5 years, the Prime Minister has talked about a vision of Viksit Bharat by 2047. There is a vision of a 5 trillion economy, of being the third largest economy. The auto sector is the biggest exporter now. You talk to the number of jobs that are there. So there will be a huge transformation, both in terms of the kind of cars, fuels, travel time from different cities. 5 years from now, what is your vision for green mobility for this country, for Bharat, for over the next 5 years?
देखो, अभी जैसे दिल्ली से देहरादून 9 घंटे लगते हैं. अब 2-3 महीने में 2 घंटे में पहुंचोगे आप. दिल्ली टू जयपुर अभी हम एक पर तैयार कर रहे हैं हाईवे पर, दिल्ली मुंबई पे 2 घंटे में होगा. दिल्ली से मुंबई 12 घंटे में होगा. दिल्ली से अमृतसर 4 घंटे में होगा. दिल्ली से मनाली 7 घंटे में होगा. दिल्ली से श्रीनगर 8 घंटे में होगा. कटरा 6 घंटे में होगा. चेन्नई से बेंगलोर 2 घंटे में होगा. अभी मेरठ से दिल्ली 4 घंटे लगते थे, अब 50 मिनट में होगा. हुआ. अब धीरे धीरे ऐसे 50 से ग्रीन एक्सप्रेस हाईवे हम बना रहे हैं. कश्मीर से कन्याकुमारी, ये जो सूरत है, सूरत से नासिक, नासिक से अहमदनगर, अहमदनगर से सोलापुर, सोलापुर से कर्नूल, और कर्नूल से चेन्नई, कन्याकुमारी, हैदराबाद, बेंगलोर, बेंगलोर, कोचीन, सब साउथ को जाएगा. तो मुंबई और पूना जाने की जरूरत नहीं. तो 320 किलोमीटर डिस्टेंस दिल्ली टू चेन्नई कम हो रहा है. तो ये इतने बड़े, अभी आपने अभी जो देखा है रोड का सेक्टर, वो तो न्यूज़रील है. असली फिल्म शुरू होना और बाकी है. अभी ये 2 साल में ये प्रोजेक्ट जब पूरे होंगे तो आवर रोड नेटवर्क विल बी इक्विवेलेंट टू यूएसए.
Right, Mr. Gadkari, thanks very much for coming here, for speaking to us at Green Bharat. Thanks very much. A big hand for Mr. Gadkari.
Thank you. Thank you.
Ola Electric presents Green Bharat, an initiative by Network18.
Stakeholders from across sectors came together at Green Bharat, an exclusive initiative by Ola and Network18, to discuss the future of electric mobility in India. Taking the conversation forward, there was a power-packed fireside chat with Amitabh Kant, Sherpa G20 and former CEO of Niti Aayog on Mission Electric, unpacking Green Bharat.
Welcome to the very first edition of Green Bharat. I remember when I heard you speak a few months ago in Bangalore, you spoke about how the internal combustion engine is a dead technology and that India's future is electric. You also urged the automobile industry to transition to 100% electric mobility in 2- and 3-wheelers by 2030. So, how can this really happen in terms of actioning this? How do you think India's journey towards becoming a global leader in green mobility should play out?
So Chandra, first and foremost, we must be clear that, look at the global scenario. The United States has imposed 100% duty on import of vehicles from China. 100% duty is, in the history of tariffs has never been seen before. Europe has imposed a 45% duty from China. Now, if you look at the movement of EVs, China is more than 50% EV. Europe is 23% EV. US is about 10%, and India is just 2%, just 2%. Our manufacturers are 5 years behind the curve. If they were up to date today, India would be the biggest exporter of EVs to the United States and to Europe with 100% and 45% duties. So we need to accelerate the pace. The disruption will be so rapid and so fast towards electric in the next 5 to 6 years that India needs to go, to my mind, not 30% electric, but minimum 60% electric by 2030. And we need to go 100% electric by 2035. We need to do this because 42 of your 50 cities are the most polluting cities of India. And without the transportation sector being tightened up, and you need to bring disruption through policy changes. You need to tighten the CAFE norms. You need to ensure that only auto should be, the 2-wheelers and 3-wheelers should all go 100% electric in these 42 cities.
Mr. Kant, I also wanted to get your views on the rapid pace of disruption we are seeing thanks to IoT and AI. How will that impact the sector going forward?
So it's integral. Without artificial intelligence, without IoT, vehicles will not be able to sell. It's integral to automobile sector. IoT and AI will be driven by the automobile sector. It's absolutely integral to the automobile sector. Because you should be able to assess every single battery, you should be able to assess every single vehicle from wherever you are, and you should be able to monitor its performance from wherever you are. So AI and IoT is absolutely integral. This sector should be the driver of AI and IoT in the future.
Right.
Yeah.
So you spoke about what needs to be done from a manufacturer point of view, from a company point of view. In terms of the mindset shift from a consumer point of view, how do you think it has progressed for India? Do you think, the affordability has gone up, the adoption is more widespread, people are not that resistant to, owning an EV compared to, say, 2-3 years ago when they would worry about, battery discharge or charge running out?
So there's been a radical shift in the mindset. Everyone wants to buy an EV 2-wheeler, 3-wheeler, and now an EV 4-wheeler, hopefully. My view is that in another 2 years, 3 years, consumer will not like to buy a fossil fuel technology at all. I've been a long-term believer that fossil fuel technology is totally dead. It belongs to another era. and therefore every single consumer should buy only an electric vehicle.
If you have to give the auto industry, manufacturers, ecosystem players, 3 things to do in 2025, what would you tell them? What are the 3 most important things they should be doing?
So first and foremost, I think India needs to put up 1 million fast chargers across the country to remove...
Which are interoperable.
Yeah, interoperable. Everything should be available on an app. You should be able to figure out, every single consumer should be able to figure out which is the closest fast charger to you on an app, which should bring knowledge fully. Secondly is India must crack 300 gigawatt of battery manufacturing fully in India, quickly. I think in the next 2.5 years it's possible. If Reliance has taken close to 20 gigawatt of PLI on this, they should crack battery manufacturing. India should do about 300. 100 gigawatt has already been announced. But announcement has no meaning. We should do about 300 gigawatt in the next 4 years of battery manufacturing. That's critical. And India should procure close to about 50,000 electric buses to make India move on electric buses in India. And the fourth point, 42 cities, 100% two-wheelers and 100% three-wheelers, all electric.
That's a very audacious
42 cities of India, 100% two-wheelers and 100% three-wheelers across India to improve the lives of citizens.
Right, that's a clarion call from Mr. Amitabh Kant, and thank you very much, sir, for that electrifying session and for being candid as always. Thank you very much.
The theme for the next panel discussion was Future of Green Mobility in India. The session, moderated by Kranti Sambhav, explored strategies to overcome barriers such as range anxiety, affordability, and infrastructure development.
The theme of this session is the future of green mobility. And we are going to talk about the challenges, opportunities, and the strategies by different manufacturers, all the stakeholders. Mr. Bajwa, for manufacturers, what kind of clarity you need so that the conversation is focused between electric, hybrid, fuel, flexi fuels, and ICE?
I think as manufacturers, there are 3 or 4 areas which we have to address, and we'll have to probably take that lead in giving that confidence and comfort to the consumer. So number 1, as a mass segment I'm talking, how do you give that confidence to a consumer that the cost of an EV and ICE is almost similar? I mean, you must have heard that we had introduced a concept like battery as a service, where we said you buy the EV at the cost of an ICE. We give you the same segment car at a similar cost, and you rent the battery from us. Secondly, how do you give consumer this confidence? So we said, suppose Kranti buys this car. So Kranti, as long as you are running this car as a first owner, your batteries are headache. You don't have to worry about it. Third part is on the resale value, which I said, because when you are changing car after 3-4 years, you need a good resale value.
So I'll start with, I've heard the topic a couple of times, which is price parity. All right, so if I take two-wheelers, again, 2 years ago when I came to India, it's fair to say there was that large gap. I'm pleased to say, due to efficiencies in the supply chain, economies of scale, because the volumes are starting to increase, as well as battery prices coming down or cell prices coming down. It's fair to say on the two-wheeler side, you're starting to see price parities just about there now, right? And on the EV side, there's higher technology within, because it's the two-wheeler products have got higher electronics than what an ICE product would have in it. So you've got higher technology, price parities there. I think, from a challenge point of view, on the two-wheeler side, it's okay now, right? So it's much better than what it was 2 years ago. Again, competitive supply chain, lower sell prices, economies of scale, it's about right now.
I feel we need to come together as a team. I think no single person can take this responsibility, neither government, nor private operators, or nor OEMs. I think we all have to work together. To give you an example, I think OEMs need to make sure that all the touch points, for example, we have 700 touch points across India, we need to put chargers at all these 700 touch points. In metros, there could be fast chargers, smaller towns, slightly. So it varies from, fast chargers vary from 60 kilowatts to 250 kilowatt hours, right? And we have, in the first 15 dealerships where we started our EV sale, we started with 150 kilowatt, which did not exist anywhere. Now, if you want to charge your car in 20 minutes, go to any of these 15 Kia dealerships and you will get charged within 20 minutes. We have even one 210 kilowatt hour charger. So I think that's the initiative we are taking. Similarly, we have charge point operators and government as well. Because if you see the success story of China or Europe, I think government has a big role to play in terms of bringing these chargers across the country. I think it has to be a teamwork, and we all need to play our roles very well.
So we did a research to look at, with the existing grid, which is predominantly fossil fuel based, what does it make for an electric car and electric two-wheeler in India? And we found that electric car is roughly cleaner by 20% in terms of life cycle emission. Electric two-wheeler is almost 40% cleaner in terms of life cycle emission. Now that's one part. The second part is, as you increase renewables, you will only get cleaner. So the pathway is very clear for electric. You pump in more renewable and use battery to power these vehicles, and that's one part. The other interesting bit, which I think a lot of people may not be aware, we did a research to understand what's the real world emission from motor vehicles when they are under operation. So when you go for PUC check, the vehicle is stationary, it is not moving. But the health is impacted by fumes when vehicles are moving. And we found that in real world scenario, emissions in Delhi can be as high as 25 times the lab limit. It changes with fuel types, it changes with age of the vehicle, it changes with use of the vehicle, commercial versus personal, and it also changes with OEMs. So I think that is something which is very important, because climate is one, but public health is something that is impacted every day.
Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for taking out the time for us and for this enriching, enlightening conversation. Thank you.
Thank you, Kranti.
Thank you.
Ola Electric presents Green Bharat, an initiative by Network 18.